Welcome to Cinder Shadow Gaming. This is your host, Cinder Shadow, and this is This Week in Magic. This week we had the announcements of the anticipated ban of Field of the Dead. There was also the last minute anticipation for the new format of Pioneer, and Mtga Arena got a giant update regarding around the whole Brawl event, and that went live on Arena. The new Brawl event or launch event, which for Arena, it is a launch event, but it has been out for a couple years. It took off quite nicely. There's been a lot of decks, there's a lot of planeswalkers and a lot of legendaries that you can build a deck around. I did build one around Nicobolus. I will link that video at the end of this one if you guys want to check out a deck that's possible to play in Brawl. It is quite decent. I did get my 5 wins pretty quick with that deck. As for today, we'll go over the notes, and then they also had a hot fix for some of the stuff that was going on. So we'll go over that very briefly. So as always, if you go to the MTGA forums, you will find the actual updated notes where they don't really list them on the news website for Magic the Gathering. It's kind of weird that they only ever put it into the forums. I haven't found many things going on with it. I haven't seen too many bugs, and it looks like the integrated graphics cards for a lot of people have that issue resolved. However, there was still a hot fix needed, and we'll go over that as well. So you've got your Brawl event where you can win your 5 cards that are unique to Brawl. However, they are standard legal. One in particular, the Mace of the Valiant, I believe, is probably quite valuable when it comes to standard meta right now. Sorcerer's Spyglass is currently banned in Brawl. If that wasn't, it would be very easy to lock your opponent out of their commander, and that's why they keep that there. Now, it is 1,000 gold for the launch event, and it does give you those 5 cards once you get your 5 wins with the card styles to go with them, so it's not that big of a deal. And note, Field of the Dead is not banned in Brawl. It is only banned in Standard, in Best of 1 and Best of 3. So that said, there will be also Brawl play queues on Wednesdays only. I don't know why. I would like this to be more of a permanent thing that you can maybe queue up for, but only having it on Wednesdays does not support the format very well. They're not charging anything to play it, and it does go towards your quest progress and daily and weekly win rewards, so that part is kind of nice, unlike the historic, which will only go towards your quest progress, but it will not count towards your wins. You can also do the challenge deck type Brawl. We did some of that on stream last night with a few people, so that was quite fun. A few things that they've changed in general for combat. It'll auto pass through, declare attackers, blockers, and first strike combat if there are no creatures in combat. When a stack of identical creatures with an activated ability are blocking, they now fan out so you can see the creature from the group. Adjusted deck sizes to make them easier to estimate the remaining cards. If you saw that, they used to have these big towers which were just lagging the system down too much. Then they shrunk them down this tiny stack, and now I think it's a little bit more representative of how many cards are left in your library. The deck sizes to make them easier to estimate. When there are multiple effects on the stack that lead to token creation, the game will run through this process more quickly. There was people that were using their timeouts as tokens stacked up. So it's good to hear about that. They've reworked the interface for revealed cards. I'm not sold on this. You have to hover over the card, and then you'll see there's an eye on the left side of the card, and then the X at the top right side of the card to close that out when they're revealed. I wish they would move it down beside your pet so it doesn't conceal their lands or stuff like that. I know also another thing that really bugs me is when Questing Beast comes out, the animation for Questing Beast seems to obfuscate a little bit of what's going on the board. So usually people will go right into an attack right after they put down Questing Beast, and now you can't see if it's attacking, if it's not. So it would be nice if they could turn around and change that a little bit. When you mouse over the window, you'll be able to click the X in the top right corner. Yep. Mana in your mana pool will now sort to better display what autopay will spend. Mana will now sort by color, helps with adamant. Badges for Ride and Convoke, which only matter while the card is in hand or on the stack, no longer display on the battlefield. Adventures can produce a token. Now display that token when moused over. Daily wins now reward 25 XP for the first 10s each day. I've said this in the past, it should just be for your first 10 games, not 10 wins. That would have people coming back more and more, and you would probably get a lot more people playing than having to force yourself through 10 wins each day. It's an additive to daily wins, yada yada yada. Card set. Field of the Dead is now banned in Standard. If you had 4 copies of Field of the Dead in your inventory, you did gain 4 wild cards. You get 1 wild card per Field of the Dead you had in your inventory if you crafted it or if you open them in packs. So that is quite nice, or even ICRs. There would have been a notification when you logged in. It's a one-time grant. However, they are not going to refund the card style that was available for Field of the Dead, which I believe was 1,000 gems. Now, for those of you that did spend those 1,000 gems on Field of the Dead, you do still get the Field of the Dead card style for Historic, so I don't ever see them refunding those 1,000 gems, as it is a cosmetic item only, and unfortunately at this point I would say that 1,000 gems is lost. And you know, if you've got the 1,000 gems to spend on something like that, maybe take a look at what you're spending your gems on, because cosmetics are not going to get you ahead in the game. If you want to get the most value out of the game, cosmetics are an additional thing, and I think, all honesty, that you shouldn't get that gem back. It's cosmetics. You can still use the card in other formats, so really that's what it comes down to. This is, after all, a cosmetic style only game, so if you're spending money on cosmetics, that's what you get. It's you've got it and it's yours now. Field of Dead has been removed from individual card rewards. They've also updated the Core Set 2020 Booster Pack Coalition, so people would only receive Field of the Dead as a last chance for your rares. Also, it does not impact limited boosters, so if you do a limited draft or sealed event of Core 2020, you do still have the normal chance of opening Field of the Dead. When crafting Field of the Dead using wildcards, players will receive a warning that it's banned. When joining the play queue, decks that contain Field of the Dead will be considered historic, so that you have that triangle showing how many cards in it are not legal for Standard. When players who are currently participating in a Standard event or traditional Standard event with Field of the Dead in their deck will be allowed to finish it as is, however, be required to update their deck once it is finished. Clarified Risen Reef's prompt, it now asks if you want to put the land into the battlefield tapped. Interesting. Auto tap can now utilize more cards with mana abilities like Gilded Goose. I wish auto tap would be a little bit smarter. I've been getting screwed from auto tap lately, and it's unfortunate the way it is. So the Brawl launch event, with the first one you get the Mace of the Valiant, the second one you get the Fairy Formation, the third one you get a Taste of Death, the fourth one you get Ember and Skyblazer, and the fifth one you get the Thorn Mammoth. You also get the card styles for each of those, which is kind of nice. These cards are strictly more better for Brawl. However, like I said, with the Mace of the Valiant, that might be the only one that I would see going into more of a constructed standard environment, because it gives +1/+1 for each creature that enters the play, because you're putting a counter on it. It also gives Vigilance, so it's a pretty decent equipment that is easily something that can move around. While the rewards will only be earned once, you can keep playing additional games, and they count towards quest progression and weekly and daily win rewards. So that is kind of nice. If you just want to sit there and play Brawl, you can sit there and play Brawl instead of going through your regular play queue. Festival of the Fae is the next one that's coming up. That will be available November 3rd to the 6th. It's 2,500 gold for that one, or 500 gems, which is really unfortunate that they put such a high value to this one. Cards are banned, namely Cauldron Familiar, Cavalcade of Calamity, Gates Ablaze, and Persistent Petitioners, which Petitioners should have been banned from Brawl as well. It rewards up to 5 wins, losses don't matter, and once again you get showcase cards. In this case, you get Merchant of the Veil, Beanstalk Giant, Order of Midnight, Giant Killer, and Brazen Borer showcase card style. You only get the style, it does not give you those cards. It would have been nice if you maybe got a Brazen Borer for the 2,500 gold out of what you're putting in there. Unfortunately, it's a gold sink right now, so people are not stacking so much gold at the end of season for drafts and other events. And then we have Oko's Madness coming out. Each player begins with a 60-card deck only containing basic lands and an Oko Whims emblem that has the following abilities. Creatures you control have base power and toughness 3/3 or elks in additional to other types. You can pay 1, discard a card, create a token that's a copy of a random creature with converted mana cost 8 or less. Activate this ability only anytime you could cast a sorcery. So Oko's Madness is supposed to be a Momir event, and that contradicts the way Momir actually works, because you're supposed to pay X, not pay 1, discard a card, and then you create a token that is a random that is that casting cost. In particular, this here is saying you pay 1, discard a card, and you create a token that's a copy of a random creature with converted mana cost 8 or less. So you're only paying 1 mana. This just screams it's going to be completely, utterly a waste of time. It's not going to make the event very fun in that sense, because now you're having to deal with 100% luck when it comes down to it, which is unfortunate. The following creature tokens can also appear when creating tokens through the Oko Whims emblem. You can get Baneful Force, Bedlam Reveler, Borgamias, Enrage, Crasher Rhinos, Gigo and Gaidamancer. Jesus. You get Grizzlebrand, Hoverguard Sweepers, Magnet Force, Scaled Worm, Tide Spout Tyrant, and Wolf Pack. So it's quite interesting. They have a little bit of a range of cards there. Once again, it's up to 5 wins. Losses don't matter. And it's more showcase cards. The Fairy Guide Mother, Hypnotic Sprite, Occam Ranger, Bone Crusher Giant, and the alternate for the Murderous Rider, which is going to be quite nice. Murderous Rider being one of the top cards in the set right now. Then they have Cascade with the Maelstrom Net 6 emblem. Whenever you cast your first spell each turn, exile the top of your library until you exile an online card that costs less mana. You may cast it without paying its mana cost. Put the exile cards on the bottom of your library in random order. Once again, it's a 2,500 gold entry fee. So once again, these are only for showcase styles. They don't actually gain you anything. Bang cards from the Cascade event. Deafening Silence is gone. Fae of Wishes is gone, thank God. Field of the Dead is banned. Flaxen Intruder, which is kind of unfortunate because Flaxen Intruder is 7. I don't really see that one being that big of a deal. Linvala and Zoria's Renegade, that one makes sense why it's banned. Lucky Clover is banned, which is interesting. I guess they don't want so many things going off. Rule of Law is banned, and also, thank God, Teferi Time Raveler is banned from the Cascade event, so it's not going to affect you in the long run. Once again, up to 5 wins. Those 5 wins will give you card styles for Rimrock Knight, Foulmire Knight, Fae of Wishes, Lovestruck Beast, and Realm Cloak Giant. The Realm Cloak Giant showcase card is really nice, actually. So, Wednesday Brawl, starting on the 6th, 1v1 Brawl. Ranked draft, various improvements to draft bots. Thank God they really need to do something about the Eldraine draft, because I'm seeing numbers of about 45% of the meta in the draft has become mill, with people going 5 or more wins in the mill archetype, so the drafting is quite broken in that sense. There's also, starting here, I think it's on the 28th, if I do remember, there will be Extra Life sleeves. They were supposed to be $3.99. I don't know if that was for one set of sleeves or for all the sleeves. The proceeds going to the Seattle Extra Life Children's Hospital. So you do have 5 different sleeves here. Yeah, for a limited time, starting on October 28th till November 4th. So you only have a week to get these. Proceeds, less transaction fees, go straight to Extra Life. But once again, it doesn't say how much they are. And originally they were saying $3.99 and they weren't giving a gem amount. So I don't know if you'll be able to spend gems on this or not. Because it is money exchanging hands here, I would guess it's still just straight up money. Also on November 2nd, they're going to have 20 uncut sheets from now to November 2nd, sorry. So that is going on right now, and that is on the eBay WOTC charity account. And there's, I think they even had a new Phyrexian uncut sheet there, so that's something else to try and look at to pick up. And then if you're a team or you want to take part in stuff going towards Extra Life that goes to the Seattle Hospital, they are giving away the Inspiring Veteran style, uncommon style. Honestly, myself, I would more do something for my local Extra Life charity instead of trying to do something for the Seattle one. I know Wizards of the Coast is located out in Seattle, but I would more rather do my local instead of them. I do have some ties with them. There's also the Ponies, the Galloping card set that went on sale this week from the Hasbro Brawl store. That was $50 with a limit of 4. And $30 of that $50 goes towards Extra Life Seattle Children's Hospital again. I did take a look briefly last night. There was a spike in the Nightmare Moon card, which on MTT Stocks was saying it was about $330, which I find that hard to believe, as I don't believe these are sold out as of yet. Mythic and Championship Qualifier. Whoever gets it this weekend should now see the event in game. Direct Challenge. We have depreciated the amount, the ability to direct challenge through Discord. As of the 10100 game update, we have depreciated the ability of direct challenge through Discord. Are they meaning they've taken it down? Yeah, you can no longer do it through Discord. So I think it was a good idea, but at the same time, the Discord app, you would have to shut the game down, then join the Discord, and it would boot the game up. I think that honestly just created more lag and more problems for the servers when it comes down to it, because now they're having to boot the game up for you, and there's too many loops that you had to go through with that. We were playing a little bit last night with the Direct Challenge, and it seemed to be a little bit more stable myself. Limited time only Extra Life charity items, so October 28th to November 4th. You can get the Extra Life sleeve, Nightmare Moon sleeve, Princess Luna sleeve, Princess Twilight, and the Rarity sleeve, and they are $3.99 per sleeve. And that is what I didn't know. When they listed this, they didn't say it was per sleeve. They just said it was $3.99, and it was like, well, is that per sleeve or for all the sleeves? I think if it was for all the sleeves, it would have been really nice, but $3.99 per sleeve makes you think a little bit more before you spend that on Arena. Showcase bundles. There's a new bundle with the Knightly Honor, Deadly Secrets, and the Walk in the Woods, giving you all different styles. Those are the showcase styles for the cards listed there. Each cost is 3,000 gold per bundle. It is nice that they're keeping that at a gold rate. There's the standard 2020 bundle, which is very much like the toolkit that you can buy in store, but you get in this for Arena, you get 2 boosters of each of the following sets: Guilds of Ravnica, Ravnica Alliance, War of the Spark, Core Set 2020, and Throne of Eldraine, which is 1,000 gems, or it will cost... Oh no, you get 1,000 gems, and it costs $10 real money. For Brawl, the card styles are... the following card styles will be available for purchase for gold. The 4 Brawl deck commanders, Cuthlain, Corvold, Aleia, and Sir Gwen. The cost is 2,000 gold per card style for unlimited time, available for gem purchase after. So if you do want those card styles, you can get them for gold now, but it will be gems afterwards. Leaving soon is the Twice as Nice bundle, the Lands Foretold, and the Showcase bundles for Knightly Honor, Deadly Secrets, and Walk in the Woods. Those are only there for a limited time, it looks like. No longer available, the Lifeland bundle, the Golem Galore, and the Wolfpack bundle. So, bug fixes, performance and stability. They fixed an issue that would sometimes result in players starting a game with an empty battlefield containing no library or opening hand. There was a few times where even myself, I would open it up and it would go into the timer saying, take an action, and you have nothing to take an action with. Players who disconnect and reconnect during a match no longer experience a black screen. Players no longer receive a DLL not found extension plugin error messaging when launching Arena. Fixed an issue where killing a token with Massacre Girl had a chance of causing a crash. Ooh, that would have been fun. In Brawl, when presented with the option between turning your commander to your hand or the command zone, the default choice will be your hand. Repeated activating abilities with no cost mana or otherwise will no longer allow players to intentionally extend their timer. Detailed logs will persist after game updates if this feature is enabled, and to do that you have to actually go into your settings and checkmark detailed logs. I know before that fix, if Arena crashed on me, I would lose all my log. So, which made things very difficult to go back and see what the problem was. Muting your opponent's emotes no longer disable interactions with your own pet. It was very unfortunate if you turned off emotes or muted your opponents. It would actually turn your pet off and they would just lay down and go to sleep. I don't think that was what they intended, but that's what they did, which is unfortunate because people still want to play with their pet. Abilities that prevent damage and have other effect. Oathsworn Knight's loss of a counter. When dealt damage that can't be prevented because Questing Beast is in play, now correctly trigger the other parts of the ability. Players should no longer be removed from sideboarding when your opponent timer expires. The Adamant visual effects is now visible if a player casts Adamant cards from the zone other than their hand. Cards drawn from Unmorg Ego's effect will now correctly display while Unmorg Ego is on the stack. Blocking multiple creatures that can assign its combat damage as though it weren't blocked will no longer cause a soft lock. So Thorn Elemental sometimes causes soft lock because it kind of went against the idea of the code, I believe. Your opponent's hand should no longer appear to flicker when moused over during your turn. That was really annoying, and that actually was triggering to a lot of people, surprisingly enough. When moving cards in the browser, your mouse will no longer snap to the bottom of the card. I never saw that myself. After first strike combat damage, the arrow assigning which creatures are blocking which attackers now remains. When Resolve All is enabled, the game will now hold priority for a response if new items are added to the stack, instead of you having to click through it, which is sometimes what was going on. When deselecting a block in the stack, other blockers will remain stacked. Dreadhorde Anarchist visual effect no longer continuously play if the trigger ability is countered before it resolves. Creatures with extremely large power and toughness numbers will automatically resize to fit inside the power and toughness frame, so that can make it very, very tiny text. ICRs will no longer appear twice when rewarded through the Mastery Pass. I had this happen quite a bit through the first 25 levels when that mattered, and most people are past that 25 level mark, so that's not really that big of a deal anymore. Decks that were previously standard legal now should show correct number of cards that have rotated. Previously, the number could be inconsistent, and tooltips now correctly appear when sideboarding. So, that was the updates for the Arena game. It's quite a bit, and I hope you guys find that interesting. Next up is the little bit of a hotfix that they did. So, the hotfix that they did was just players using non-English language should no longer experience frequent disconnects. The play button should now work if players had selected a historic deck while on the standard deck selection page. Players no longer need to change match settings to select a historic deck in Direct Challenge. That's good to know. Players can now change their Brawl decks after finishing a Brawl Direct Challenge match. That's also a very important fix. So, of course, the newest format, Pioneer, was announced this week, ranging from the sets that you see here. Even though some may be misspelt, they do tend to go towards the cards that are there. And note that the fetch lands are banned from the new format. We have seen crazy price spikes since this announcement. We're seeing things getting bought up, and it looks like things were bought up very previously towards that. So, you know, we'll see where it falls. Those price spikes should level out, I would say, within a month. So if there's certain cards that you're looking for, I would just hold off right now on picking things up, as most things are going to settle down. And once Pioneer really starts to take off, you'll see the first few tournament results come from that, and that's where the price spikes will go. If certain cards that spiked don't get played, then you don't see them in the current meta. They will crater, and so do be aware of that if you have any value towards stuff. So I'd just like to thank you guys for watching this week, and I hope you guys have a great FNM and a great weekend. This will be until after the 8th of November. There will not be a This Week in Magic next week unless I can get it going from a laptop, but the laptop is not as good as this setup that I have here. I do have to travel for some work and stuff like that for the family, just to get a few things done, and then we'll proceed from there. So tonight will probably be my last stream for a couple weeks. Just so you guys are aware, for everyone that does watch this, do please support the channel. The channel's not going to go anywhere. I will try to upload a video here and there from my laptop as I can. I just don't know what my connections are going to be like where I'm going, and we will see you guys in a couple weeks. Otherwise, check me out tonight. We will be doing a Friday night stream. I know a lot of people do F&M, and I do stream fairly late enough that a lot of you from FNM will be able to pop in there. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Please do like and subscribe to the channel, and if you want to support the channel in any way, the links are down below. Have a good day, and thank you very much.